What's up, bro?
How you doing?
All right, man. So it's the beginning, Talk of the Town podcast.
My name is Roy Bussall. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, born and raised.
My name is Javin Nash Harris. Jav Nash, whatever people call me.
I asked you, I was like, bro, man, we should start a podcast.
But I wanted to highlight some of the businesses and some of the talent as far as like sports is considered in Seattle, Tacoma area. I don't know, man. I just felt like I want to do something that highlights other people.
Like you said, put those people on the map, just to help the community out, grow the community together. Welcome to Talk of the Town, episode 3. Today we got Scotty Ewing with us. So, man, tell us how you feeling today.
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. It's good to be here with you, my guy.
Yeah.
Both of y'all, man. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Okay. Can you give us a little background, where you grew up? I heard that you I looked up that you played college basketball in Seattle. So give us a.
So I'm not from Seattle. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? That's where I learned how to play basketball at. But I got the opportunity to come out to Seattle to play college basketball, and this was back in 2012. 2012, and I liked the area and I made it home. You feel me? But I played my 2 years of college basketball in the NWAC, same league you was in, man. South Puget Sound.
So how did you like it when you came up here? How did you like the school? Just the Seattle area in general when you came up here.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first got to Seattle, it was a bit of a culture shock for me. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from in Kansas City, the area I'm from, there's it's not a lot of diversity. It's just mainly black people. Not a lot of stuff going on. You feel me? So coming out here, there's different types of people, a lot of mixed race relationships, stuff I wasn't used to, and I was like, wow, it's different up here. You feel me? The weather definitely got me.
Rain.
Yeah, but see, when I got here, it was the summertime, and it was 6 a.m. and it was cold outside in July, and I was like, I can't do this. It's July. It's this cold. But I didn't realize out here, as the day goes on, it gets warmer. You feel me? So, but over time, I ended up loving it. Made it home.
That's good.
Yeah.
Talk about man, if you would talk about how you started playing basketball. Cause were you a teenager? Did you always have the ball in your hand, like in the crib? Somebody put the ball in your hand. How'd you start hooping?
I always hooped my whole life. I guess if you want to get to the beginning, it was because in the building I lived in growing up, there was an older kid who lived underneath me named Brian. I just looked up to him. He was a cool kid, you feel me? And he hooped every day, so I was trying to be like him, And then it was Allen Iverson. I like him. I'm trying to be like him, Yeah, facts. That's what got my love for the game going. And where I'm from. Growing up, nobody was thinking we was gonna play professional. We all had dreams, but we just hoop. We just love to hoop in my neighborhood. You feel me? And we'd be at the park every day hooping, getting it in, and that was just life. So just living like that made me better at basketball.
Would you say basketball is your first love?
For sure, definitely my first love.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, we was talking about it earlier, and I said music was my first love.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, music might be up there. Music might be up there for me too. But yeah, I guess nothing has touched my life as of right now the way the game has. You feel me? So yeah.
So after your 2 years in JUCO, what was the next step after that?
So I did my 2 years in JUCO. I had to go JUCO. I didn't qualify for Division I. I had Division I scholarships out of high school and all that, but had gotten a little bit of trouble. Yeah. And one of my schools got shut down. So the transcripts wasn't available. NCAA eligibility, all that can be crazy, So I had to go JUCO. And 2 years into it, you do your 2 years in junior college, and I got an opportunity to play D2 at a school in North Carolina called Belmont Abbey. And that was the best I could do with my situation with the eligibility center, because I wouldn't clear for D1. And 2 weeks into going to the school, the coach that recruited me got fired. He was I don't know, he was stealing money from the Treasury Department or something. It was crazy, man. So I didn't really know what I was gonna do. Somebody I met down there did me a favor and sent me to a showcase in Las Vegas. I was thinking it was a showcase to get on with a different college, and it turned out to be a showcase for overseas basketball. And I didn't know what I was gonna do. You feel me? Cause I was like, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to figure out what school I'm gonna go to. And they said, you gonna play or not? And I said, all right, I'm in Vegas for the weekend. I'm gonna hoop and have fun. And the last day, dude came up to me and was like, yo, you wanna play in China? And I was like, yeah, if y'all gonna pay me. And that's how I got on.
What? Yeah. So you just said yeah off the rip, like I'll go to China?
Yeah, off the rip, cause I was like, that was my goal anyways. Once I started playing college basketball and I moved to the Seattle area, you know, it's a ton of NBA players from here that I didn't know about until I got here. Like I didn't even know Jamal Crawford was from here, Nate Robb, all the IT, you know, like from Tacoma. I didn't even know they were from here. And when I got out here, I got cool with all these guys and started getting in the gym with them. And I was doing my thing. So I was like, man, if I could hoop with them, I could hoop with anybody. And that's when it kind of clicked. Like, I could make some money doing this. So that was my goal. Once I realized I could do it. So as soon as somebody gave me the opportunity, I'm like, yeah.
Man, I think that's brave of you, bro. Because if somebody asked me, you wanna go hoop or run track in China, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, nah, I think if I was coming straight out of Kansas City, I might have been like that too.
Oh, okay.
Cause you know when I got out here, I was fresh out the hood with it. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't used to a lot, but I think Seattle and just being around this type of environment, the different people, different types of foods y'all got out here, it prepared me for something like that, and it made me more excited about it than like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I was like, man, you know, I could do it. Let's get it.
Have you had Nigeria?
Oh yeah.
Come on,
facts.
all right.
You know what I'm saying? I be hitting the Ethiopian spots all day out here.
Come on.
Yeah, love 'em.
So what teams did you play for out there? I noticed that you played for Macau.
Yeah, so Macau Wolf Warriors, that was my last team I was on before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And actually, that's probably my favorite team I've ever played on. My favorite coach I've played for, Coach Todd Purvis. Shout out my guy, man, you know. But unfortunately, that season got cut short due to the pandemic. Yeah, and I feel like we could have won a championship that year. So that's like a sore spot for me. Like I feel like the pandemic took that away from me, you know.
So like when the pandemic hit, like what were your thoughts? You know, like from playing overseas and then the pandemic hit. Like what was like your thought process? Like did you have like where am I going to go next or?
Wait, real quick for the audience. Were you in China during the pandemic?
Yeah, I was.
You were.
At that point, I had played in other places as well, but I was back in China
during the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Talk about that, bro.
It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Away from family and everything, like you're in a whole other country.
So were you were you had to stay out there during the pandemic or like it was not?
So basically, we had like the season was going on. We had one last game before the Lunar New Year break. So that's like the Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
And like all the different Asian countries like had their own saying for, but it's the Lunar New Year. And we was gonna have like a 3-week break, no games, no nothing. And the team said we'd have 2 weeks off, no practice. So we balled out. We won the game on a buzzer beater. My homeboy JB hit the buzzer beater. And we was feeling good. We just got a dub and we got 3 weeks off basically. And on the third day of being off, we all had took some trips. I was in a city called Hong Kong because I knew some people there from a previous season. Some of my teammates were, in like went to Bali, went to a couple islands. And like the third day of our break, they hit us up and was like, yo, this pandemic's getting crazy. We got to send y'all home. And I was like, hype. I was like, what? I never get to go home this early. Like, I was hyped, get to go home. They're saying we going to fly you back out in 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks, they actually did fly. They flew us to Cambodia. We were supposed to finish the season in a bubble in Cambodia. And ended up, I flew to Cambodia. Me, 2 of my teammates, we were the only people in Cambodia. Like, not just from my team, but from the whole league. No one else showed up.
Wow.
So we chilling in a hotel. I'm ordering room service like a mug because, it's on the team owner. And I just kicked it in Cambodia for a week. And then they like, it's a wrap. We sending y'all home. The season's done. And that's when the world shut down, bro. So Coming home, I felt kind of positive because I thought we was going to get right back to it. We had a great team. And I found out, you know what I'm saying, I had a daughter on the way. So I was like, man, it's a great situation to be in. I get to come home early, you know, see the birth of my daughter. And I'll be right back hooping before you know it. I didn't know it was going to end up going on for like 2 years. So as it progressed, like definitely mentally things changed. I'm like, it was good. I need to get some money. Like, you know, like I ain't played in a while. But throughout the whole time, I just stayed grinding. You know, we was up 5 a.m.
Yeah, we were at 5 a.m. every day with Martin Anderson.
Yeah, because that was the only gym we could get into. Everything else was shut down. So, shout out Martin Anderson, man. He would open the gym and, you know, made us a lot better during that time.
Man, them workouts were.
Yeah, bro. But that kind of got me through the pandemic, just like staying focused and like staying in the gym. But it was tough not knowing like where am I going to play next? When am I going to get paid again? Had to get to it, you know, figure out, just get in where you fit in until I got that call. And when that happened, everything was back smooth.
Okay. Quick question. So I was looking up again your Instagram profile. Your daughter, is that who's on your IG?
Nah, so on my IG, you talking about the little light skinned girl?
Yeah, I think so.
That's my niece.
Okay. Because he was like, Scotty don't got no kid. I was like, oh, okay.
I got a baby girl. She's 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
She's 2 years old. So she was just born during the pandemic. But Fatty, she's my niece, but she might as well be my daughter too. You know, we've been rocking since birth. Shout out my baby, Fatty Fat and Shine, man.
Shout him out.
So so fast forward a few years, how'd you get in touch with Bay Area?
So I was chilling, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was like 3 a.m. I was just laying in the bed, and my phone just rings. I picked it up. I'm like, yo, it's an Australian number. I don't know nobody out there. I answered.
You answer unknown numbers?
I mean, if it's from a different country, I'm gonna give it a try because it might be some money calling. You know what I mean?
Got you.
But if it's 206 and I don't know it, you know, I'm not picking it. But yeah, he called me up. It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, what's up? Who's this? It's Coach Bill from the Bay Area Dragons, and he told me they saw some game film on me and talked to some people about me, and they had a big budget they was working with. They wanted to sign me. He gave me the rundown, and you know, at the time I had nothing else going, so like I didn't tell him that on the phone, but I was like, okay, sounds good, you know. Hung up the phone and I was hyped, you know. And he told me the head coach would be giving me a call in a couple of days, and we were gonna figure it out from there. And the head coach happened to be this guy named Brian Gorge, and he's pretty well known coach. Like, he's the coach of the Australian Olympic team, national team that won the bronze medal. So he's really well known coach, you know what I'm saying? And him calling my phone was pretty surreal. I'm like, dang, this, you know, Brian Gorge, this dude in the Olympics.
Wasn't he a former like NBA executive or something like that?
Yeah, he's done a lot in the game. You know, he's 70 years old. He's an old dude, you feel me? But he's still sharp as a tack for sure. But he's known everywhere. Like when I was in Vegas last summer training, I just had to tell people his name. I got in any gym I wanted to.
Yeah.
But he called me, gave me the green light that they wanted me, and that was smooth. And then like I got my deal signed and was to the Philippines with the Bay Area Dragons.
Yeah. So I want to touch on what was the love like over there?
Oh, in the Philippines?
Yeah, like the love, like.
I say everywhere I've played, I get love. Like I'm usually like a crowd favorite, especially in Asia. They love like 3-point shooters, you know what I mean? And that's my game. So I'm usually a crowd favorite, and I get love in all the different countries and stuff. But the love in the Philippines was different, man. Like I ain't never seen nothing like it. I guess like a quick example was like Game 7 of the finals. We played in the biggest arena in the world. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the championship or for the
league, the PBA.
Yeah, the PBA,
Filipino Basketball Association. And yeah, you're right. It's called the Commissioner's Cup. But yeah, it was 55,000 people at that game. You know, to put it into perspective, bro. The biggest arena in the NBA is like the United Center, and that holds like 24,000. You know what I mean? So we like double the biggest NBA arena, and everybody in there going crazy.
That's
like,
crazy.
It was none like I ever seen, man. They're crazy about basketball there, and they treat you good out there. It was the most love I ever got, for sure.
I gotta throw this in here though, but man, for y'all though who don't know, Scotty's one of the best 3-point shooters. I swear.
That's what I do, man.
That Jay is so
That's what I
pure.
heard, too.
It's crazy. Like, man.
Got that J.
Yeah, man.
But
we know.
yeah, I know you got a relationship with Jamie, Alonzo. Yeah, and the team y'all played in the Commissioner's Cup. Did he play for the opposite team?
Yeah, so Jamie played on the team that beat us in the finals. And, you know, Jamie's my boy. Like, I've been known him from just hooping at Rainier Community Center before either of us was pros. You know what I mean? And I always knew he was a great athlete and all that. And it was dope lacing him up against him in the Philippines and just linking up with him and chilling with him, you know, here and there. But shoot, you want to talk about love? That boy get love out there. They love him out there because, you know, he's dunking and all that, and he's half Filipino, so they really love him. So I was proud of him, man, to see him do that. And he was a big reason they beat us in Game 7. He was struggling that series. He wasn't doing much, and then the biggest game, he had his breakout performance, and they beat us Game 7, man. So yeah, shout out Jamie, man. Even though y'all beat us.
So what's the intensity like in Game 7? You know, it's just like this is the last game. It's like this is for.
Nah, man, it was the most intense experience I've had on a basketball court. You know what I mean? Like all those people in there. Like I said, 55,000. About 100 of them was cheering for our team. Like so you know, we score, you hear a little clap.
So y'all was the underdogs.
Yeah, for sure. You know, cause our team, they Ginebra, Jamie's team is that's the country's team.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they loved him. So it was intense, very intense to say the least, man. But it was dope. You know, the you know, for those type of games, that's where the real ball is gonna come out. You know, like you gonna get hyped for that. If you don't want to play in that, then the game ain't for you. That's what I live for. So I was hype about it. Definitely seen some good players fold though under those lights, man. You know, I ain't gonna say no names, but definitely some people when them bright lights came on, man. Some people definitely went into their shell, and that hurt us in Game 7. But it was still like an experience I'll never forget, though. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, living in all those different countries, talk about if there was like the language barriers and the cultural differences, because you said coming from Kansas,
Kansas City, Missouri,
to Seattle, it was a culture shock because all the different things you experienced. But going to a whole nother different countries, to another country, what was that like? Like the food, the people, the language. Like I know that's got to be tough to adjust to.
So like as far as the Philippines, wasn't hard to adjust at all, because even though they speak they got their language, but they almost all of them speak English, and they speak it well. Everywhere you go, the signs are in English. There's great food. You know, like it wasn't too hard to adjust to a place like that. But like China, that's kind of an adjustment, man. Yeah, man, that's an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? The foods they eat, it's not the same as the Chinese food here. I'll tell you that.
Is it better?
Nah. Well, I mean, it depends probably who you talk to, right? Depends who you ask, and some of the dishes wasn't that bad, but you know, I don't eat pork. They eat a lot of pork, and I had to turn a lot of dishes down, and they eating every part of the animal, man. So there's a lot of stuff I just couldn't do out there. Yeah. And in some parts of China, they speak no English, so that's a little harder to get around in China. Places like that.
How do you, so throughout this conversation, bro, you've name dropped like a mug, bro.
Right.
How do you, like you said, somebody was sharp. You're clearly very, very sharp. You got a lot of names stored up here. You read a lot? Like what is that? Like how do you memorize all these names?
I mean, I read, you know what I'm saying? I read all kind of stuff from, you know, whether it's just information or it's a whole story. I'm always trying to read and learn and stuff like that. But as far as me just knowing all the names, man, I think that's just because everybody I meet, like, I'm always like giving a chance, like I can learn something from them. I can learn something from them. And usually when I'm open like that, when I'm meeting people, it usually works out and I do learn something from them. And anytime I learn something from anybody, I ain't gonna forget their name.
Right.
You know
That's
what
like
I'm saying?
organic, authentic.
Yeah,
man.
100.
Yeah. So on the show, we gotta ask, man. I know you said, moving up here, you learned about the Jamal Crawfords, the Will Conroys, the T Wills, the Nates and ITs that we can name drop for it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So coming out of the city, top five. What was it? We was gonna say top five.
Yeah, top five.
Top five coming out
top
of
five coming out of Seattle.
out of the Seattle. In no order, unless you want to do a certain order. Who would you say is top five coming out of Seattle?
You could put in an order too.
Yeah,
Tough,
if you
man.
want.
Can I
Cause
bring somebody up really quick though?
Go ahead.
Did you ever play with? Because you went to the Philippines. Did you play with Chris Mancaro?
yeah. Actually, that's one of the. His team didn't even make the playoffs, but they were one of the only teams that beat our team.
Ooh.
So I don't know what's going on with that team. The coach's son is the starting point guard on that team. Chris comes off the bench, and like Chris would come off the bench, bucket, steal, bucket, sub.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? They need to leave him in the game
Yeah.
because I wasn't even playing that game. I had hurt my ankle, but I just knew. I was like, I know him from Seattle. I know he played at Seattle Pacific, I think it was. I knew he could ball, but I didn't know he was that good. He had a good game, but it looked like whatever they got going on, the coach wants his son to play for sure.
That's Paulo's cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I actually
No,
didn't.
you said the last name.
Yeah, I didn't know he was Paulo's cousin until someone told me that. Like, even though they got the same name, they don't look nothing alike. So I never knew. I just thought same name, but that is his cousin though.
Yeah. So So your top five.
Man, right. Top 5 out of Seattle. That's a tough one. I'm going to say the number 1 spot. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone would give him the number 1 spot if his knees didn't go out. But when he was playing,
Talk about it.
B. Roy about as
Roy.
good as you
Oh,
could
yeah.
get.
Bulldog,
I mean,
legend.
Kobe himself said that. He said Brandon Roy he's hard to guard. You know what I'm saying? So I say B. Roy got the top spot. Then I got to give it to Jamal just because the handle and the longevity of his career. Like,
Got that ball on the string.
yeah, I see bro out, at the LA Fitness at Bellevue like all the time.
He's reachable, yeah.
He still looks the same as he did when I moved here. Like, he don't age. He's still doing the same thing.
Him and LeBron on the same.
Yeah,
same
bro.
ball.
So Maul. So that's B. Roy, Maul. We staying in Seattle or we going to Tacoma too?
Tacoma,
the whole
everywhere.
Pacific, like the Pacific Northwest.
Gotta put IT in there because that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? IT's my guy, and then he's holding it down, bro. You can't do much better than he did at our height at that level. So IT, oh man, and these last 2 spots, who I'm gonna give them to, man?
It's a lot of people you can choose from.
Even though he ain't been around as long as everybody else, I'm gonna give one of them spots to my little homie Paulo. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually spent a lot of time in the gym with him and seen him work on that. So to see him doing his thing as a number 1 draft pick, like, that's dope. I'm gonna give him that spot. He got a number 1 pick in the draft. And the last spot, man. You know what? The last spot is a tie. It goes to twins that didn't even make it to the NBA, and that's my big bros, man. Roderick and Lodrick
Oh, my
Stewart.
God.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, like, you ain't even had to watch them play. All you gotta do is listen, and somebody gonna tell you about like how crazy the twins at Rainier Beach was.
Shout out to the Stewart family.
The
whole
100,
fam.
man. Hakeem,
Bull, all y'all,
Kadeem,
yeah.
Bull, everybody. Shout out to y'all. Love
Big
you guys,
facts.
man. But yeah, the twins get the 5th together.
Okay, that's a solid 5. Is
Yeah,
there
no,
anybody?
that is solid.
I was gonna say, is there anybody in the basketball world that you haven't already met that you would like to chop it up with, get some knowledge from, or maybe even just get a workout with?
Yeah, bro. There's a lot of people I would want to meet, talk to. Like AI is my GOAT. I would love to just kick it with AI. But as far as like someone I'd really think I could learn something from, and I would want to work out and pick his brain, I'll probably get at the Steve Nash, bro. Because I feel like Steve Nash, a lot of the guys we mentioned, they naturally are just gifted, and Steve Nash is naturally gifted too, but most of his stuff come from the skill work. So
Yes.
yeah, a player like me, I could learn a lot from Steve Nash.
You know that's my uncle, right? No, we got the same last name. Before. That's why I said that. Yeah,
Shoot,
yeah.
I'll run with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
Sure.
yeah, is there any last words you want to say? Like, you know, any encouragement you want to give to anybody out there, that up and coming hoopers, people that are just like, you know, athletes, anything you want to say?
Trying to chase the hoop.
Yeah,
dream.
for
Chase
sure,
their
man.
hoop
The best advice I could give to any of y'all that's like chasing this hoop dream or any dream, man, is just keep going. That's the biggest advice I can give, bro, because there's no like people hit me up all the time, be like, "Oh, how did you get to shoot like that? What can I do to shoot?" And like there's always some secret answer they want, but like I'm a great shooter because I shoot every day. You know, I do it all the time.
Can I quote Nip real quick?
What's up?
Constant repetition is the path to progression.
100.
Forgot what song that was because we got
Yeah.
the cameras out and everything, but he said constant repetition is the path to progression, and that's probably, you know.
Yeah, no,
what
that's
you're saying,
100,
yeah.
bro. That you can't keep it no more real than that. And so when anybody like going after something they love and they want to do, especially in something as competitive as professional sports, I would say like, yeah, bro, you just got to keep going. You got to do it every day. Like every day you should be finding something to do, to work on, to further your game. You know what I mean? Or your talent, your skill, and whatever your craft is. Because that's how it worked for me. Like I always believed I was a great player. You know, before I was a good player, I believed that. And every day, I just kept going. I kept going and I kept going. And then before you know it, you look up and you're like, damn, I'm a pro. You know, like I'm making some bread. I'm taking care of my fam with the game. And it's just because I kept going. I didn't stop. And I put the work in every day. No excuses. Yeah.
All right, I think we're wrapping up.
For sure.
Shout out your anything you got going on. Tell the people, and then also shout out your Twitter handle, your IG handle, anything you got you want to let people know
For
to follow
sure,
you.
man. Man, if anybody's trying to get some good basketball training in the area, man, tap in on Instagram at Taze Inferno. That's TAES. Inferno is INFERNO. That's my boy Dante. He's doing his thing. That's who helped me prepare for my last season in the Philippines. So I would say anybody in Seattle looking for some good training, hit up my man Tay and give me a follow too, man. On IG, that's Boogie Gets Buckets. You know, buckets with 2 C's and Z's. Tap in, man.
Come
Yes,
on.
sir.
All right, man.
All right, now we appreciate you for coming on to the
Thanks for having me,
podcast,
y'all.
man.
Appreciate
Sir,
it, man.
no doubt.
No doubt.
Yep. That's a wrap.